This episode is brought to you by Indie Film Hustle TV, the world's first streaming service dedicated to filmmakers, screenwriters, and content creators. Learn more at indiefilmhustle.tv.
Well, he says, go make Platoon in Philippines. So I'm going from Mexico right to Philippines with $6 million now. And very little for Platoon's a big movie, but again, I've been through the rough road now with my cinematographer Bob Richardson and Bruno and various people and Alex Ho. So we made the movie at $6 million more efficiently than we did Salvador because we were more experienced. And we had all the usual problems of a jungle and heat and sticky and rain and all that shit. It wasn't easy, but we plowed through it because we were tough. And lo and behold, I mean, it really took off. I can't tell you how it took off right away. I mean, the moment there was a nothing movie. We were in a B film in the Philippines, sort of a Chuck Norris thing or something. Nobody gave a shit. Right. And, the moment we showed it, it was cut in a rough cut. People started reacting and, gee, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. It's a reality that they had never seen before. A reality, because I had gone into the details of what I had experienced. And that was missing from war films in general. I've seen a couple that are close, Korean war films, but at that time, now it's almost standard they do it, but it was hard to get the reality of the jungle and the perception of the jungle. And on top of it, it was critical. It was critical of the whole experience, which I think was the best part of it. It was a message saying this thing is a fraud. This whole fucking war was a fraud. There were 3 lies I mentioned in the book. I go into the details, the concept of friendly fire, Americans being killed by their own fire is much greater than people know. The concept of killing civilians in Vietnam was huge. I mean, it was very abundant and not always, but there was a lot of that going on and accidentally spillovers and stuff like that. And number 3, the biggest lie of all was that we're here to win. We're here winning. And that was never true. From the beginning, it was never true. From 1947 on, it was never true when we got involved with the French. So there's a lot of lying going on. And I go back into the concept, the theme of the lie and how the lie influences American life. Because my parents had lied so much to me at the age of 16, they rip apart. And I think we are the happiest family in the world. But no, it's not true. What's going on? Boom, here's what's happening. Lie, lie, lie. This is what I learned in my life, that people lie. And not necessarily out of malicious intent, but out of comfort or out of fear, various reasons. So that lie, which extends from the divorce in 1962, extends into Vietnam. For sure, because that's all I see. I come back to the United States alive, fucked up, a lot of Vietnamese dope over there. But I learned a lot from the black troops because they were into the music. I learned a lot about life, humanity, staying, about love in a way. It's an interesting story. It's a side story. I got into some of that in Platoon. Some of the Charlie Sheen's best friends are black in that movie. They kept me human. I stayed closer to the character of Elias by Willem Dafoe is very important too. He becomes a figurehead for the young man. You see him at the end of the war. He's divided, very divided. He's a man of two fathers, he says. The two sergeants represent polar opposites, and one sergeant kills the other. That's the crux of the movie. Is one sergeant after he's reported for a war crime by the other sergeant, kills that sergeant under the cover of battle under friendly fire, and gets away with it. Except that the young man sees it, and he has to get even, and it leads to its denouement, which is pretty strong. Where what happens. I mean, it doesn't show that kind of stuff doesn't get shown in war films. If you look at the rest, even the ones that followed, it's generally speaking to get the cooperation of the Pentagon and the movie studios and all that. You got to go along with the patriotic, or the United States really cannot be criticized for any of its wars. Now, considering that we've lied our way into 6 or 7 wars since World War II, I think the intelligence agencies have lied to us so much, and the lie persists in American life. This is a theme for me. Obviously, you see it in JFK, and you see it in you'll see it again and again and again. Snowden, my last one in 2016. I guess I'm the director who seeks out the lies.
And exposes them. And that's something that you've been, that's since the beginning almost.
I can't help it. And don't believe me, it's gotten me in a lot of hot water.
I could only imagine. Well, Oliver, I can only imagine.